Hello everybody, Janie Goddard here, and thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm with Sonal Ambasna, a wonderful CMA member that we're very, very proud to have with us. Sonal, welcome and thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really looking forward to chatting to you.
Oh, fantastic, great. Well, first of all, can you tell us a little bit about the work that you do?
Yeah, sure. So I'm a nutrition coach. I qualified with Sano School of Culinary Medicine. I used to have an extensive career in this city for almost a decade or over a decade. And I changed careers and I've retrained as a nutrition coach. And now I'm doing what my passion is, which is food and nutrition.
Fabulous. That is absolutely fantastic. So, what are the types of people that you actually like to work with? Do you have a particular kind of audience, if you like?
I do, yeah. So mainly I work with women and also families. With the women, I focus on the food coaching side of things. So that's helping them really improve their eating habits, really look at what healthy eating looks like for them. Because I think we all know the wellness industry, there's just so much information out there. And for the lay person, for the busy person, it's often very difficult to cut through that and navigate their way and just understand what healthy eating looks like for them, particularly if they've got things like, blood sugar balance issues or allergies and intolerances, which can sometimes take the joy of cooking away. So I work with these women and I kind of hopefully bring some of that joy back to them and make it all seem manageable. And I also do cooking classes for children, which are my Culinary Nutrition for Kids cooking classes. And the aim of those really, that's my passion project. That's how I help people, little people, kind of connect to the joy of being in the kitchen and go beyond baking with their cooking, because I think it's something I feel like my generation particularly has lost a little bit of. We weren't interested in learning how to cook growing up, and boy, have we sometimes paid the price for that. So I want to instill that in children early on so they've got it there for life.
That is fantastic, actually. I think that's a wonderful service to society, actually, because you're quite right. People have got away from cooking, and it's actually causing people, the fact that people aren't cooking from scratch is causing, I think, actually massively contributing to some of the, the obesity epidemic and so on. The fact is that obviously we're in lockdown at the moment whilst we're recording this, but, a lot of people are still getting takeaways and so on because those are still open. And we just don't know what's in those foods, do we?
No, precisely. And I think this is it. Over the course of the last couple of generations, we've moved away from eating mainly home cooked food to having ultra processed foods on the fly. It's very normalized. And I think our kids see that and they think that's normal. That's what food looks like. That cooking is just baking or doing sweet treats. So if we can kind of bring it back and be like, no, cooking with vegetables is exciting and get them enthused about those things, then really that's a great path to set them on.
Yes, that's absolutely fantastic. So if somebody wanted to work with you, how would they go about doing that? I mean, how would somebody find you and how would they book with you? What's the procedure?
Right. So at the moment, my website is being revamped. It'll be up very, very soon, within the next week or so, which is very exciting. So customers will be able to book with me directly through there, or if they've got any questions, they can contact me on there. I'm also on Instagram as Nourish Food for Life. I'm quite active on there. So if anyone's got any questions and wants to engage in a very informal way, then they can message me on there, and I'm always happy to have a chat and speak to people.
Okay, that's fantastic. And I should explain to everybody watching this video, the links to everything that Sonal is saying are actually under the video. So as you're looking at the video, just to the right-hand side, this is if you're looking at it on YouTube, for example, you click the little down arrow at the lower right-hand side of the video. That will drop down the show notes, and you'll be able to see all of Sonal's information, her contact details, and a little bit more about her there. And you'll be able to contact her directly from there as well. So now, in closing, is there anything else that you'd like to be able to tell anybody if they're interested in finding out more?
Yep. So there's a lot of people who work in nutrition, and there's a lot of people who do different things. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what a nutrition coach does. It's very different to how a nutritionist works, because obviously they've gone off and done clinical studies. A nutrition coach is basically, I like to think of it as someone who's your guide through navigating all the information out there that doesn't perhaps make sense to you. You just want to eat well and live better with ease. That's my tagline, and I really believe in that. Having lived the frenetic lifestyle of being in the city, not having a lot of time to cook for my family, telling myself I don't have time, but obviously if it's a priority, you make the time, right? And it's guiding people through that. So there's a lot of practical things that go into it. And often people come to me for, say, X issue, and we'll get talking, and a lot of other stuff will be uncovered, and you realize mean, food, it's so much at the heart of who we are, our cultures, how we've grown up, and unpicking that sometimes takes a little bit of time. But I really do feel, though, we're in the best possible place. We've got more choice than we've ever had. It's a good thing and a bad thing. But if you are well informed, you've got someone to guide you through that, we can all make better choices for ourselves. And it's about meeting. My service is completely personalised, so I work one-to-one with clients. And everything is very bespoke to the client. So if someone's working with me for 4 weeks, we may start with doing a kitchen audit where we go through the kitchen, which can be seen intimidated, but it's actually a lot of fun. And look at ingredients that maybe aren't serving them and what to replace those with. So it's very practical. It's not a long list of, okay, here are my recommendations and off you go. There's a lot of hand holding I do and getting to know the client so I can meet them where they're at, because we're all on a journey. We're all at different stages of that. And I think it's really imperative that you understand who you're serving and how you can best help them with their challenges.
I think that's fantastic. I think it's wonderful that you can really individualize the help and support that you're offering. So that, because you're quite right, we are all in individual situations. There is no sort of cookie cutter solution that's going to be suitable for all of us. So I think that is really appealing to people, know that they can come to you. You're going to really hear what they have to say and be able to adjust your approach so that it integrates into their life really easily. Have I understood that correctly?
Perfectly understood. And that's exactly my aim, because, often there's a lot of unrealistic expectations about the changes we can make and how quickly we can make them. And that can be intimidating. And I think if you throw a lot of recommendations at someone and say, by next week, I want you to be here, it's very difficult. I think you just be like, I'm setting myself up for failure. Whereas if you guide someone through that and we do things like habit stacking and looking at the challenges they're facing in the daily life, because sometimes they genuinely feel like they don't have the time to cook. And it's like how we can create that time, how we can set them up for success in the kitchen. And that can be intimidated if it doesn't come to you naturally.
Yes, of course, absolutely. No, it can be. I think it sounds really like a very sort of friendly approach. And I think that's absolutely crucial. You're taking sort of the fear factor out of it. And I think also the fact is that because you're so approachable and you're such a lovely, friendly person, I think that it's nice. I think people will feel as though they've got an ally on their side rather than somebody who's going to come in and say, oh, no, wag their finger. Oh, no, you shouldn't be eating that. Because, there was that lady on television. I won't name names, but we all know who she was. She was quite aggressive and quite sort of finger waggy and so on. And she was in the jungle at one point, so we all know who we're talking about. And I think that was really off-putting to people because it was very much sort of, well, she knew best, and she was sort of really looking down on you at your food choices. And I think that was really unhelpful. I think it put a lot of people off. I think whereas what you're doing from the what you've described to me in our chats and what you're talking about now, it seems to me as though you're much more of a friendly ally. Does that sound right?
Absolutely. I mean, I've been through this myself. In my adult years, my weight fluctuated a lot. It's still something I have to keep an eye on, but obviously that impacted my health. And for me, health is at the heart of what I do. It's about supporting your health. We don't make any grandiose claims, but there's always ways that food can support your well-being and give your body everything it needs and the right nourishment. And if we can do that, and if we can encourage you to, find recipes that include the lovely health-giving ingredients, and make changes in your life that you're still enjoying food. It doesn't seem intimidating. It's the change you want to make and you want to stick to. When I work with someone, I'm very much, this is not one of those diet things. This is not a, whilst you're working with me, you're going to be amazing. And then after that, you're going to go off and go back to your old ways. What I really want to do is integrate the changes into their lifestyle and make them feel like, well, why would I stop doing this? I feel wonderful. I've got lots more energy. My skin is looking great. And all of those things. The proof is in the pudding, isn't it? If you start feeling wonderful, you're going to stick to it. But it's also about how those habits are, integrated into your lifetime. Because if they're not, and it's just a very much like, I'm going to do everything for 4 weeks or 3 months, and then after that, you're going to revert, then that's not really helpful to anyone, is it?
Absolutely. No, I think it's about sustainability. So look, Sonal, thank you so much. I think it's been so amazing. It's really, really kind of you to take the time to come and chat with me. And, if anybody's got any questions, they can contact you directly. Thank you so very much.